Alright, good morning, good day. This is the African Crypto Warlord. I hope you guys are doing well. If you do enjoy this content and you find it helpful, please do smash the like and subscribe button. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at the new weekly volatility ranges that have printed, as well as monthly and daily. So what we're currently looking at here is this is the current daily range from 24,416 to 24,700. Its mean is 24,560. Okay, general idea being any failures below the daily mean, you're going to test for the outside here. So that's what we've just come in and done. Now if you start closing candles below this daily VRE level, what are we looking for? We're going to look to 23,639. Alright, there's a few pit stops on the way. This is the new weekly mean. Now this is on a 15 minutes, so what can we see? We can see that previous weekly mean was the breakout range, alright? And here lies the problem, is you have a weekly mean down here, we're still in the same month of breakout, and that is all the way down at $21,180, alright? So given that we have broken out, we're halfway through the month, we haven't really given this monthly a good test, alright? Okay, we've been away for it for a very, very long time. We haven't even tested it. So this is in my books, 21K, $180. Okay, so any failures below the daily mean, you start looking for downside targets. So we can just do this, and I'll see now if it has the traction to get through. Contraction, negative. So that's negative drift, that's pushing it down. There's a trend coming here. So I'll just say, as I said before, closes below here, that will start to trigger the long-term trend. Now what are we going to do? We're going to go to the 21 day. So we've seen the daily range, we know where the weekly is. But with all this toppy structure, what can I see? I can see obviously off of the big rallies we've had from the 1st of January, you can see that volatility is now expanding to the upside. So what does this mean? This means that those shorts that are coming in, as long as this stays red and these two stay above the white line over here, if they stay above like this, you can expect continuation to the upside, alright? Now, there's a few other time frames that match this, and what we'll wait for, at least on the 21 day, is the red flash to start killing off. Otherwise it can get stuck to the ceiling. So we're going to look for things that can back it to get stuck to the ceiling, as that is bullish. Alright, so we have the longer term trend wanting to mean revert back up to the upside. This is the 14 day, and what can we see? When it went red, it went red. Alright, and there was pretty much 1-2 candles after the structure, and this is, you can say if it leads, it's still got to 28K 909 before it really starts pushing for a longer term trend to the upside, but that will be for later. Anyway, so there is some positive drift and expansion to the upside that we have to look out for. So what can you see here on the 7 day, that's also just printed today, is that volatility is contracting. So what that means is these big candles, they're pretty much done, alright, either to the upside or to the downside. Now it's the slow bleed up or the slow bleed down, and currently it's 50-50. With this hidden bull div that's been getting wrecked by a bear div and all this bullshit, but it means 50-50. Well, shortly it will mean 50-50. Currently there's negative drift in the market because volatility is contracting whilst positively correlated, which means price goes down. That's why this isn't a doji as of yet. But as soon as there's a little bit more price movement and this crosses down, you'll see it get pushed up into a doji. Now that adds to the 21 day, the 14 day bullish stance, okay? And that will help set this in. Problem is outlier here, but this returns is alright, so it needs to have a hidden bull div to pick it up and through. Okay, so the 5 day has been something of note, and you don't really want to be on the wrong side of the 5 day. It takes quite a while for it, about 10-15 days for it to play through. So this is now on our 10th to 15th day. And what are we looking at? We're looking at a bottoming structure, well, not a bottoming, a hidden bull div pretty much, looking for continuation out of here. It has the positive drift to keep on pushing it up, okay, which confirms this RO, which keeps it above and in the trend, if I was to super zoom here, as long as this stays on the dot, this is still in the trend. Okay, those returns. As I said before, we've got to wait for the red flashes to end off. But given that this positive drift, sideways or up, is a general observation, backing 21-day, 14-day, 7-day, 5-day. Alright, so there's quite a lot of bullish momentum in the market. What does this mean? If you're a trader, you're a scalper, you're going to be selling short real quick and taking your profits, you could say. And then your longs will have, you'll be in your long for a longer duration of time. So if the long is 15 minutes for me, then the short will be about 4 to 6 minutes. Anyway, so we have some expansion to the upside, but starting to curl over here. And this is why we have the doji, is because both rules are saying, hold up. And that's a healthy thing. Because if it's sideways here, holds the structure, it can still stay in the trend and keep these guys from switching off red, which when they switch off is the signal for the continuation in the short. If it does carry on staying sideways, you can imagine that there will be bullish div on this return oscillator. Okay, and that will naturally print it into a mean reversion stage. So let's just go throw up some bands, see if there's anything round about the structure. Not so much. Okay, ultimate power mean, everything is underneath. Okay, they've deflected. This will be a point of interest that's already been tested. Okay, so 3-day is looking a little bit sideways, as with the 14-day. Now what do we see? We have the 24 hours. This is the daily, and I'm going to make this pretty simple, just so that you can see. I'm going to turn off the candles, and do this. And pretty much what happens is, as soon as this red line over here crosses through the orange line, I'll know that this is a confirmed mean reversion point on my return oscillator. But if this red line is above the orange line, I know that there's still a continuation play to be had, as we can see here. Problem is that there's volatility. Contracting was positively correlated, but it is losing its signature, but that still means that there's negative drift. So 24 hour looking like sideways. Now we have the 12 hour, which has a whole bunch of action on bed, bull divs, and all sorts of fighting going on. But what can we see? We can see that it is also sideways and looking for a trend, because volatility needs to expand now on the 12 hour. Okay, so what I can say here is patience will be of virtue, and I'm guessing that there will be some drift up. Let's just start seeing what gets us to the weekly target that we put up, that's just printed in the beginning of this video. So this is sideways, and what you'll be waiting to see is there's a trend and the candle's going up. You're going to wait to see the expansion side of this. The expansion side of this will dictate the longer term trend. Alright, now let me start to give some levels. So we have a mean reversion play happening, holds above. If this candle holds above here, this mean reversion play will be true, and it's in a trend. It's looking for a new trend in entropy, so it's wanting to toss the chaos and disorder into a direction. Blue flash off, that's pretty much the long signal on the 6 hour. Still some bear div or bearish action, but that will be summed up quite nicely in the next 6 hours if it just holds its price. Given that things are sideways, that's not a bad idea. Now to the 3 hour. We have a 3 hour looking to set up a longer term trend. RO is already front run it into negative drift. So a lot of this action, what told me in the 3 hours, is getting sold into. So we'll look at the 3 hour and the 6 hour to say that they're pretty much going to push price action sideways. So it's not very, very helpful in this region. But when we get back to the 15-minute, it will sum up quite nicely. So what can we see here? This is the 90-minute. This is what I use for trend continuation. So we can see that, let me make this big. What can we see? We can see that price actions come in and it's finally hit one of these, the institutional level, higher term institutional levels, and has reversed back into the means. Okay, now the positive drift and expansion to the upside. What do you want to see? You pretty much want to have it so that these two means don't cross each other. And when these two means cross each other, it's going to be a long, maybe that's what will set the monthly in. But if that doesn't happen, then you can expect continuation to the upside. As you can see, these means and these lines are pretty much spot on the money. And we'll go throw up some VRE levels. And as you can see that the daily mean reversion point is pretty much one of the top sides of the band. Okay, it's the top side of the band. So you fail below this, you can imagine that will curl that back over, and the new weekly mean is down here at 23636. So I'm going to be saying any failures below 24705, look for continuation to the downside. Furthermore, even if you do start closing above this, and let's say it does rampage to $1 trillion, because it didn't touch the weekly mean, or the monthly mean for that matter, it will be back there sometime in the future, tomorrow or 1,000 years from now. So that's how I pretty much weight that data. And we have our 45-minute, also looking for a new trend. So this would be like breakout ranges for me. Oh, we don't need that on. This would be breakout ranges for me. Okay, so let's say I want to run the 15-minute. 15-minute, I'll make sure that if you start closing outside of this thing, obviously you're going to look for continuation down. When you start closing into it, you start looking to hunt the other side of the orange band. So we've hit these orange bands, now we've come in, we've hit that one, so there's a little bit of a hidden bull div in here, and then we turn on like the wider term time frames, and then we go and we see, okay, so off that hidden bull div that we've seen, does it give us enough continuation power to pretty much break through our VRE mean over here? Alright, if it does, it gets scalped here, and that's why I said this target, $24,700. If it can hold in this region and close above here on the 45-minute, then you can imagine that it's going to start rampaging to the upside, as all these higher term time frames that we've just gone through with expansion to the upside to the 21-day, expansion to the upside, 14-day, looking for the longer term trend to kick in, 7 days a little bit sideways, looking for positive drift, or 50-50, which is the doji that's also trying to print itself up here. And then we have 5-day has negative, has positive drift, so any short selling on the 6-hour down is going to be pretty much bought up. But I think this is also a hunt. I think it's a hunt for the last bit of liquidity. To be brutally honest, I'm waiting for later on in the week and hoping for some more downside, as I do see this market getting strong with regards to the 21-day releasing through, but I think it needs to do its shitcoin thing and wreck every fucking long that's still holding from down here. Right, so that's 10% away, and that's sort of what I'm generally eyeing out as a failure level in here. In the next analysis, I'll put on the distribution cones, and then we can really start getting into that level. If you found this analysis helpful, please do smash the like and subscribe button. And this will be a 15-minute. What we can see here is it's wanting to break out, holds above this orange line, gets capped off at 24.57. Alright, losing its steam to the upside, did keep its trend here, but when this bear div does when it does go red again, it's gonna hurt BTC very hard. Whew. Maybe a last little wake up. Let's any of these targets, if it does break the previous region that I've stated, can be off play. So I'll go slowly, 25895, 26527, and this one, 25549. Ciao Bella, African Warlord out.